Hi, and welcome back. For today's class, we're going to have a focus on making our practice a meditative practice. So we're going to practice breath, dristi, bandha, and mudra. These are all techniques to help to cultivate an inward focus and a meditative practice. Now, in today's practice, we're going to go a little slower so that you will take time in the poses to feel this and to feel the depth in the poses and how your practice changes when you add these new elements. Ultimately, we're going to be able to feel these as we start to pick up the pace and make the practice more challenging. Now, today's practice, it's not going to be boring or anything, but we'll take this slower pace. Let's give it a shot. Sit up tall without being rigid. Feel the contact of your sit bones with the floor. And let the tension in your shoulders relax in your jaw and in your tongue. And feel your breath moving in through your nose, down through the back of the throat, all the way down towards your belly. And just focus on your breath. So instead of making the practice about what you're achieving outward, instead of making it some like great gymnastics or contortionist thing where you're going to be focused so much on the outside, I want us to cultivate this inward focus so that we have a more meditative practice. Feeling what's happening on the inside, the sensation and the breath. And then today we're going to practice going with a little bit of ujjayi breathing throughout the salutations. Now you don't have to do that every time, but you might find that this is helpful for keeping your breath on cue. So you're going to make a slight constriction in the back of your throat so the breath makes sound, like a sound, but with your mouth closed. And you might feel like it's easier to stretch out the breath and to lengthen it. And also feels like it keeps the mouth moist with that ujjayi breath. Moist. All right. Then open up your eyes. Keeping your focus on your breath, let's come onto the hands and the knees. And we'll start by warming up the spine with some cat-cow. So tuck the buttocks towards the backs of the knees and start to round through your back. And then inhale. Sit bones flip up as you roll the spine into extension. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come into neutral. Put your right hand behind your head, and as you inhale, open up your chest and turn. Exhale, twist, bring the elbow towards the forearm. Inhale, open up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open up. Exhale, slide the hand behind the wrist for thread the needle. You can stay upright or lie down onto your arm, shoulder, and go deeper into the twist. Come back up. Bring your left hand behind your head And as you inhale, spin your chest open up. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Slide the hand. You can stay upright, which helps you to get up higher up into the upper back. Or you can slide the hand deeper, which will help you to go deeper into the stretch in the shoulder. But you'll also feel that the twist goes down the spine more. And that's just because of the position of the thigh bones, how close they are to the chest. Closer the thigh bones come to the chest when you're twisting, the lower down in the twist, in the spine the twist goes into, versus the further away the thighs are, the higher up the spine you'll feel the twist go. Come back up, then curl your toes under as you reach into your hands and stretch back into downward facing dog. Inhale into plank pose. Now we're going to warm up the hips a little bit by doing a little bit of mountain climbers, which that's like an exercise, but we're going to do the yoga version of mountain climbers. So first I want you to stabilize in your core. Lift your rib cage as you stretch from your shoulders into your hands. Now as you exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow and inhale it back. Exhale the right knee to the right elbow, but really focus on your core supporting, keeping the front body lifted. Inhale it back. Exhale, left. Inhale back. Exhale the right. Inhale back. Exhale the left. Inhale back. Exhale the right. Inhale back. Set the knees down. Stretch back into child's pose. Then come back up onto hands and knees and reach back into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Put a little bend in your knees and let your head drop. And then slowly roll yourself up to stand. So there's a few different things that we're going to focus on that start to make the practice a more meditative practice, as opposed to just like, okay, I'm just doing stuff with my body, whatever. Like, instead, it becomes a more inward focus and meditative practice by focusing on the breath, and we're practicing that in the Ujjayi form today. Our Dristi, where we're looking, our focal point, what we're feeling in the body, specifically Bhanda and Mudra. So, as we stand in mountain pose, let us start to feel a spontaneous Mula Bandha from the way that we're standing. So, as your inner thighs release back, feel that your pelvic roots can release down, sit bone, tailbone. And as you reach and press down through your feet, you might feel that energy starts to come up through your legs. Can you feel that? As opposed to if you just like hang there. But if you're really focusing on the thighs, finding the neutral rotation, reaching down through your pelvic, press through your feet, and feel how naturally there's a support system. You might even feel that the better you press through your feet without being rigid, that you can feel that the pelvic floor is sealing upward, just in between the genitals and the anus. Feel the energy rise up, relax the palate, let the tongue be soft and passive. Feel your breath. And then we'll look just past the tip of the nose for the Dristi. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Lower slow into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Look in between your hands. Step or hop up to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale your arms out. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. So think of the vinyasa practice, especially the sun salutations, just as much of a breathing meditation as it is moving through poses. Look forward, step or hop to the top. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Open through the soles of the feet. Let the thigh bones come into their neutral rotation. So just feel the subtlety of how the thighs can balance so that the pelvis can lift up and reach back off the wrists. Look forward, step or float to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Feel your body warming up as you go through these sun salutations. Each time it's a little deeper. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Now reach down through your left leg and raise your right leg up behind you. Inhale. Exhale, shift into plank, pull your knee up to your chest. As you inhale, lower the knee down and make a flat back. Exhale, pull back up. Inhale, tap the knee, make a flat back. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, tap, flat back. Exhale, pull up. Step your foot up to your thumb. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, come up. Raise your arms. Let the buttock flesh release down as you reach down through your left shin and reach up through your fingers. Bring your hands down. Then twist, take your right arm up. Curl your back toes, lift your back knee up. And as you press down through the center of your right heel, feel that your right shin is straight up. It's perpendicular to the floor. It's not leaning in or out. Feel how balancing the shin helps you to engage your right hip. Bring your hand down. Step back into plank pose. Now as you hold in your plank, feel your core turn on to really support you. Lift your left leg up just an inch without your belly dropping. Change. Lift your right leg up just 1 inch. Don't let your belly drop. Set that foot down. Stretch back into down dog and raise your left leg up. Shift into plank and pull your knee up. Inhale, tap your knee down, make a flat back. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, tap down, flat back. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, tap down. Exhale, pull up. Step your foot up by your thumb. Lower your back knee. Inhale, come up. Stretch your arms up. Feel the buttock flesh drop down from your right hip, smooth down towards your knee. Breathe into the stretch in your quad and your hip flexor. Bring your hands down and twist. Take your left arm up. And just as you're twisting, notice the tendency for the left leg to want to wander. Reach straight down through that heel. Curl your back toes and lift your back knee up. And as you reach straight down through the left heel, feel that the shin can come upright and feel how that helps you to engage your left outer hip. It turns on. So that's that same instruction that I always give of engage the outer hip. It can come from how you're pressing into the foot. So the mudra, the seal, the Bhanda from the foot can also help with the outer hip, which helps with Mula and Uddiyana. Bring your hand back down. Step back into plank pose. Holding in your plank. Draw the sides of your belly in and raise your right leg 1 inch. Change. Raise the left an inch. Set that foot down and then stretch back into down dog. Look forward, step or float up to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Sit back into chair pose. Stand Samastiti. Now, inevitably, when I do classes where we really do this inward focus, it gets really serious. I start to go so in with you guys. So even though you're going in, making it very focused, it doesn't have to get rigid. So you can have an inward smile at the same time. Inhale into chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back into Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hold in your down dog. Reconnect to your breath. Smooth, steady breathing in and out through your nose. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or float up lightly to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into chair pose. Stand Samasthiti. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, flow up with your breath. Exhale, feel the breath go out through the back of the throat. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left. Inhale to come up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or float up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into chair pose. Stand Samasthiti. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step or float back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot. Inhale to warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, come up. Open up to your side for warrior two. Have your back toes angled in slightly. Turn your right thigh all the way out. Now let's bring our focus into the legs and in the feet. So just feel the subtle rotations that your thighs can make so that your pelvis feels more balanced, so that it feels like your femur bones plug into your pelvis better. And then as the thighs make that rotation, you'll be able to press into your feet more evenly. Reach down into the heels, into the big toe mounts, into the little toe mounts. And as you press down, feel how the energy comes back up through your pelvic floor. So you're not just letting it spill out. Feel the energy move up through the central channel. But then you can still breathe down through the central channel at the same time. So you're not overdoing the prana, which is the up force of one of the aspects of prana is also called prana itself, which is confusing because the prana is the incoming or the expanding, and the apana is the cooling or the grounding. There's also other elements, samana. But we'll just focus on prana and apana today. Then from here, place your hand down onto the inside of your foot. Block our floor, your call. But once you get down, I want you to feel, again, that you can connect. Let the femur bones make the rotation. Okay, yeah, now the pelvis sits better. You can feel and plug better, and then reach through the feet so that energy can come up through the pelvic floor, but you haven't hardened. You can still soften the palate and the tongue so the breath moves through the central channel. Wrap your left arm, half bind or full bind, your call. Feel the heat building in your right leg, and as you stamp into your right heel, the shin is straight up, so the outer hip starts to turn on. Then open your arms back up. Press through your feet and come back up into warrior two with your strong core. Straighten your right leg and reach into triangle pose. Press through your feet, breathe through your nose. Eyes soft. Then bend your knee and step up into Ardha Chandrasana. Reach into that center heel so the shin goes straight up. You haven't locked it. And then you can hold in this half moon, or if you'd like, you can add on, you could bend the knee and reach back with your hand for your foot. Once you catch that foot though, move your outer right hip out of your lower back so you can lengthen your lower back. And don't bang your head into a brick wall or anything. With how aggressive you're being. Okay, then, literally or physically, bend your knee and slide back into warrior two. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step back, vinyasa. Oh, that was a lot on that leg. Okay, let's balance it out on the other side. Step your left foot. Inhale, warrior one. Open up into warrior two. The commentary. Reach. Let your thigh bones rotate so that the pelvis can find its groove. And then as you press into the feet, feel your support through the Muladhara chakra. So feel Mula Bandha, but you're not squeezing. As you press it, there's a natural lift of energy. Just feel that that happens. Observe what's happening. If you relax into it completely, the energy will spill. If you push and focus on pulling up too much, then you're going to the other end of the spectrum. You're hitting a wall, the tongue starts to grip, you're holding your breath. Find balance. Place your left hand onto the inside of your foot now. Modified side. Wrap your right arm behind your back, half or full bind, your call. Open your arms back up. On your Ujjayi breath, come up and feel how your core supports you as you reach to the feet. Then straighten your leg. Raise your left arm, inhale. Exhale into triangle pose. Don't lock your joints. Allow for a softening in the joints as you go to tip out over the leg so that you can feel that the femur bones can move into the sockets appropriately. If you go in with locked knees and ankles, there'll be a tendency for the hip to click because it doesn't allow the pelvis to glide over the femur bone. Once you feel that the femur bones adjust in their subtle counter rotations to plug into the pelvis, reach through the feet and feel Mula Bandha is happening. Uddiyana Bandha happens too at the same time. Then bend the knee and slide your hand to step up. Keep the heel reaching straight down and the shin upright. Then you can hold here, or you could bend the knee and reach back with your hand for your foot. Move the left outer hip out of your lower back so that the lower back is long as you open up your chest, whichever one you're doing. Open back up, bend your knee, and slide into warrior two. Find your 2 feet again. Then bring your hands to the mat, step back, vinyasa. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale your arms up. Bring your hands to prayer. Spin your back heel up. Lean out over your knee. Twist, hook your left elbow to your knee. So we're gonna bust a couple twists out with the non-balancing twist in the same vinyasa. And I want you to really focus on the center heel upright shin action. Bhanda, breath, and dristi. Let your gaze help to give you an inward focus. So you're going inward through the senses. Then bring your fingertips back down to the mat. Step your back foot a little bit closer and start to straighten out your right leg as best you can. As you inhale, come into a flat back. Hands to your hips. Reach down through your feet and come up to stand. Raise your left arm and inhale. Exhale, twisted triangle. Turn from your left ribs, but imagine you had a set of hands on your hips, pulling your hips straight back as you're going to twist. Then bring your hands down. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Step your left foot for warrior one. Inhale, come up. Spin your back heel up, hands to prayer. Lean out over your knee and twist. Center left heel, shin upright. Okay, now that outer hip turns on, can get into the pelvic floor better. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step your back foot a little bit closer as you straighten your leg and lengthen out over the leg. Inhale into the flat back. Hands to your hips. Reach down through your feet and come up to stand. Place your left hand on your hip and raise your right arm straight up. And exhale, reach and twist, twisted triangle. Turn your right ribs, but keep reaching your hips straight back. You can even look down to make sure that straight back is straight back, because when we turn the head and the gaze, we tend to get caught up with what the eyes are doing and we lose the connection what's happening through the midline. So that's why the dristi should help you to stay inward. So when I turn my head, I'm not turning from my eyes. If I turn from my eyes, I lose the connection to the midline. So I lose the meditative focus. Instead, I'm turning my body and I let the eyes just follow what the body does. If the head wants to turn even more, that's fine, but it shouldn't matter what the eyes do. The eyes are always going to mislead you. Bring your hands down, step back into down dog, or take a vinyasa. Then inhale into plank pose, and put your left hand in the middle as you open up into side plank. Now if you'd like to modify, you can just drop that left knee down and practice side plank with your left knee down. Otherwise, legs stacked, holding the side plank. If you're practicing the big toe, Vashisthasana 2, taking your big toe up with your right hand, you can practice that now as well. Slowly come back into plank pose and change sides. Right hand goes in the middle as you open up, or set the knee down, open up. Holding in side plank, hold there, or if you have the legs stacked and you like to take the big toe up, go ahead. Keep your tail in without tucking. Soften your rib cage, bottom rib cage back into your body as you spread across your collarbones. Breathe through your central channel. Relax your jaw and your tongue. Slowly bring that hand down. Then set your left knee and elbow down and open up into side plank on your left forearm. Left foot behind your right. Now we're going to roll the chest through the arm and pull the mat back and down so you feel the back of the armpit turn on. Slowly change sides. Bring your right elbow down and open up into side plank. Turn on the external rotators. Pull the knuckles back without pushing your ribs out. Roll the chest through, but keep the tail in. Slowly come onto your forearms. Plank on your forearms, hold there. Press the forearms down, lift your rib cage, but keep your butt low. Grip your legs, grip the buttocks towards the feet. Breathe through your nose. And then walk into dog on your forearms. Pull your left knee up into your chest. Change, pull your right knee up into your chest. Change, pull your left knee up, and then lift your left leg straight up in the air. Change, pull your right knee up, and lift your right leg straight up. Lower that leg down. Walk back into plank on your forearms. Set your knees down. Toes curled under, stretch back to your heels. And then walk your hands over to the right for a lat stretch in your left side. Go over to the left. Come back to center and stretch to down dog. Step walk or hop up to the top. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Sit back into chair pose. Stand Samastiti. Then bring your hands behind your back, take reverse prayer, or just press your knuckles together in your upper back. Step your left foot back about 3.5 feet. Roll your chest and shoulders open, inhale. Exhale, fold forward out over your leg. Then inhale, come into a flat back. Stretch your arms straight back and step up to balance on your right leg. Without your right foot touching the floor, left foot touching the floor, come up to stand, bring your knee up, raise your arms up. Stretch your left leg out in front of you. Then bend your right leg, cross your left leg up and over your right, and your left elbow under. Uncross your arms and your legs, stand in mountain pose. Step your right foot back about 3.5 feet, hands behind your back. Inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, fold out over your leg. Inhale, find a flat back. Stretch your arms straight back. Step into warrior 3. Level the hips to the floor. Reach your hips straight back as you reach forward through the sides of the rib cage. Then come up to stand without your foot touching the ground. Bring your knee up. Raise your arms. And stretch your legs straight out. Bend your left leg, cross your right leg up and over, and your right elbow under. Uncross the arms and the legs, mountain pose. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. From down dog, hop to seated. Sit in Dandasana, legs stretched out in front of you. Arms forward. Now slowly roll yourself down onto your back. One vertebra at a time. Don't let your shoulders come up in your ears, but I want you to really round through your spine as best you can. You might need to bend the knees a little bit like I'm doing. Inhale your arms up. And then as you exhale, roll your chin into your chest and roll yourself back up. Keep rolling the chest down. Inhale the arms up. Sit tall. Exhale, roll yourself back down. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, roll your chin into your chest, roll your chest into your belly. Inhale, sit up, arms up. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, roll back up. Inhale, sit up tall. And then exhale, roll out over your legs. Inhale, roll back up. Then plant your hands next to your side. Roll your chest open. Lean your torso back halfway. Scoop your belly up and lift your legs up for boat pose. As you reach down through your tailbone and sit bones, now like you're reaching down through the foot, you'll feel that the energy comes up as you reach down. Arms forward. Don't just hang into it. Reach down through your roots and then feel the spine can elongate. Feel the energy balance through the body. Then lower down into Ardha Navasana. Hold that. Come back up into Navasana. Then we'll cross the legs, put the hands next to the hips. Pull the hips up and back, lift the hips up, and then see if you can lift one foot or both feet at the same time. Now if the feet aren't going to lift, just work on pulling up and pulling your knees in, pulling up tight like a ball. And this is going to help to activate the same muscles. It'll make you stronger. It's better than to hold this than to just go like that a bunch of times. That's not doing nothing for nobody, okay? Come back into boat pose. It's time under tension. So putting the muscles under tension and holding it for longer and longer and longer will help you to build strength, as opposed to just like doing a few of those weird kind of flailings. Don't be like a dying fish while you're practicing yoga. That's what it does. You've been fishing on a boat, that's what happens. Sorry for the vegans, but that's... I had to do that when I was in the Boy Scouts, murder fish. Pull your belly. And then slowly lower. Okay, now I can feel those abs starting to turn on. Come back up. Here we go. Hands next to your hips. Pull it up. Hold there. Hug the knees in. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Now we're in that tension. Set your butt back down. Last one. Oh my gosh. Bring the legs up. Is it getting hot in here or what? Ardha Navasana. Come back up and back into down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet, one hand at a time. Roll yourself up to stand. Bring your right leg up for tree pose. Bring your palms together. Interlock your fingers with the right index finger on top and raise your arms up. Bring your arms back down. Now take your right big toe. Stand tall, holding it like a happy baby leg. Let the pelvis aim down again. And this might be enough stretch for you, just standing like this. That's fine. If you need to intensify the stretch and take the big toe up, Cool, but don't jam yourself. Just to be able to hold that big toe and stand up tall, that is really hard with the bent knee. So if you're just working on that phase, stay with it. Now bring your leg to center. Take your foot in both hands, if possible, and then start to bring your knee towards your nose. Come back upright. Release your leg. Change legs. Bring your left heel up onto the inside of your right thigh. Interlock fingers, left index finger on top, arms up. Bring the arms back down. Take your big toe. Stand tall. Let the thigh bones plug into the socket again so that the lower back opens. And then from there, if you can start to straighten the left leg without jamming the lower back. If you don't have the flexibility for this one yet, you know how to practice. I've told you a bunch of times. Put that sucker on a table or something. Bring the leg to center. Stand tall there. Or start to catch the foot and lengthen out over it. Find the flat back again and release. Last standing pose for the day. Cross your ankle over your knee and start to sit back. A couple different phases of this one. You can practice hands at the wall, working on the sit bones going straight back, working on elongation. You can go elbows to shin or hands to ground, but I want you to find the one where you get the best integrity in the spine and a good stretch into your hip. So don't collapse into it. If you're more open in your hip, you might be able to bring the ankle towards your hip crease and then start to fold forward, holding the foot with a bind or a half bind. Come back up, change sides, left ankle over the knee. You can hold in this position, hands at wall, hands at shin, hands at ground, or you can try bringing the ankle into the hip crease and catching the foot maybe to fold forward. This is the more open hip side where I can get the bind. On the other side, I get the bad knee. So it's not as, it's a little tweaked, so the hip won't move as well on that side. Release that. Come up to stand. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Then step your right foot up in between your hands, parallel your feet. Inhale, come into a flat back. Exhale, walk back, let your head drop, but feel that the femur bones can make their subtle rotations so they fit into the pelvis. Now, it's not that your femur bones are ever not fitting into your pelvis, but you can feel if they go right into the perfect rotational groove, and we're talking about fractions of centimeters of movement here, then it feels like the muscles around can move better. Can you feel that? If you're really tuned in with your breath, practicing feeling the sensation in the Bhanda,
You can feel that you can make these little subtle rotations in the femur, and then the Mula Bandha happens better, which is kind of cool. Feel that? Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale the hands to the hips. Reach to your feet and come up. With the hands on the hips now, roll the elbows and the shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward, keeping the hands on the hips. Don't lock out the knees and the ankles, because that'll prevent the femur bones from making their subtle rotations. Inhale, come back up. For round 3, let's go hands clasped behind the back, or you can put the hands in the strap and fold forward, Prasarita C. Last one. Release that and hook your big toes. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the side, let your head drop. Inhale, make a flat back. Then bend your right knee. Stretch to your left inner leg towards your right foot. Keep a flat back. Change legs. Bend the left knee. Good, then we're gonna walk back over to the right. This time, if you can go a little deeper by turning the left toes up and start to drop your buttocks towards your heel. Cool. If not, just stay with the last variation. Maybe the buttocks can lower all the way down. You know, but don't blow out your knee just for the glory of sitting your butt down. Change sides. And come back to center. Walk your hands around to the front of the mat. And next we're gonna go upside down. So you could walk yourself up the wall. We've been practicing that one, the handstand preparation. You could practice down dog on your forearms, Shirshasana, head balance, or Pinchamayurasana, forearm balance. Whichever one you wanna work on today, I'll leave it up to you. But I'm on this kick where I'm enjoying practicing the hollowed body handstand because I feel like it's giving me a lot of strength in the core and helping me to connect to my core better when I'm trying to practice the handstand. So I'm gonna suggest that we practice that one. And the way that it's different is there's just a little bit more tucking of the pelvis so that your abdominals can engage better. And this will help so that when you go to kick up into a regular handstand, you can feel the support from your core helping you to balance. So just like we normally walk up the wall, go to like hip height, but in this one we're walking all the way up and then gripping the buttocks and drawing the ribs in. And you're going to hold that for as long as you can until you feel yourself starting to sink and when you're no longer plugging into the core well. As soon as you start to lose that, you just come down and take a breath. All right, now today I want to practice a low lunge variation against the wall. So if you have a wall that you can do this at, this will work well. You're going to want your mat against the wall so you don't hurt your knee. But we're going to take the right shin into the wall, knee close to the wall, and then bring the left foot forward. So first here, we're just going to let the pelvis start to translate forward as we stretch down, 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 through the quads, down through the knee. Now, if you're not feeling much stretch, then you can come up onto the fingertips, up onto a block. You might even put your hands up on your knee and start to upright yourself. For me, it's pretty intense just to hang out here because of the tight quads. So just to do this stretch and then maybe lift up a little higher. Oh man, that's all I need to get to that. If I want to get totally upright, it takes me a couple rounds hanging out for a few minutes. I don't want to bore you guys with all that, but you get the idea. If you want to practice longer at home, if you're stiff like me, it takes you a little longer to get into the groove. Okay, then from here, we're going to scoot the knee just a bit away from the wall, swivel the foot inward, and then hold this position. So the left thigh is turning out, the right thigh is in its neutral rotation. So you're just getting like, this is similar to the stretch that we get in like side angle, etc., except a lot deeper, because now you got a knee instead of a back foot down. Okay, now back off that by coming back towards the wall, release and change sides. What do you think? Do we love this one? This is one of my favorites. I love doing this one. It's also nice for people who have difficulty binding because they can relax with the foot against the wall. It teaches the body to be able to relax without struggling and grabbing the foot. So if you tend to strain a lot when you do the bound variation, this is a great way to teach your body not to strain. And you know, I'm a fan of the blocks. If you're someone with a tight pair of spinals, you get all hunched over, better to put the hands up onto blocks so that you're not hunched over. Use the breath, use the Ujjayi breathing. Tongue soft, jaw passive. And then from there, you'll back the left knee off the wall just a bit, swivel the foot in. So you're in this little lunging position with the back leg at the angle. Let the left groin stretch the left knee, the right groin smooth the right knee, like the groins are doing the splits away from each other. And then from there, that's going to set us up nicely to do the frog pose. So we'll drop the knees down to the ground with the toes turned out, and then just wiggle your knees wide enough until it feels like you're going to tear your groins. No, don't do that. Go to the spot where you're feeling like a nice deep stretch, and then you can come onto your elbows on the ground or on a block. Whoa. It's a deep groin experience. Oh. And if you need to intensify the stretch, you can start to move the hips back. But make sure you're not cheating from your sacrum lower back. Okay. Just kidding. Come out of there. And then we'll come into Supta Virasana or Supta Virasana preparation. So lie back over a block, foam roller, ball. One of my favorite ways to do it is to lay over the Swiss ball. You know, like the, what do you call them? It's called a Swiss ball, I think. You lie over one of those things, and then you can grab the elbows and back bend over. That's a nice feeling. You can also do it over the couch, which I've showed before. And then come back up, lie on your belly, bend your knees and grab your ankles. Then lower yourself down, take your strap, put it right across your forearms, and then let your strap rest on your butt, forehead down. Okay, let the shoulders hang and the elbows turn out. Then roll your elbows up towards the ceiling, but feel that both blades come onto the back evenly. Don't pinch them, but bring them onto the back and down onto the back. Then lifting the head, but keeping the chin in, so the crown is reaching forward. I want you to stretch through the elbows towards the fingers and start to lift the hands up off the butt. And feel especially the turn of the elbows. You're trying to turn the elbows up towards the ceiling. Both blades feel even on the back. Then lift your head, chest, legs up, like at the wall, but pretend like I'm not pressing into the wall. But reach back to your legs as if you are pressing into a wall. Push, reach, move the buttocks towards the heels. And lower yourself down, rest the other cheek. Then place your hands next to your side ribs. Turn those elbows to point back again, and then start to roll yourself up into upward facing dog. And we're going to start with the knees down, because I want you to feel that as the groins release towards the knees, you can let the tail start to lengthen down towards the ground. And feel how as the tail lengthens down, your chest becomes more upright. Let the arms rotate in the socket. And then once you feel like, okay, man, I'm getting the tail's getting down pretty good, getting a nice stretch in the front of the hips, maybe you could then lift the knees up without the tail coming up. Reach the back of the skull back. And then stretch back onto your hands and your knees. And let's turn the hands around so that the thumbs point out, fingers point back. Little stretch for the forearms. Doing the opposite stretch that we've been doing with the fingers pointing forward. And then come to lie onto your back for bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Lift yourself up into bridge pose. And as you hold in your bridge, feel the rotation like when you're in the strap again, but just notice if one shoulder blade tries to bully the other. Let both shoulder blades come onto the back. Descend the upper arms. Reach into your heels. Lower your butt back down. Again, lift yourself back up. Come back up into bridge or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Lower your buns back down. Open your arms out to the side. Cross your right knee over your left. Hips over to the right a little. Let the legs fall over to the left. Now in this one, because the knees are pretty low, can you feel how the twist naturally wants to go up the spine higher? Just feel that. You might even feel it start to come up in between your blades. That's kind of cool. Bring your knees back to center, hips back to center. Change the cross of the legs. Hips over to the left a little bit and knees over to the right. Come back to center. Take happy baby. Hug your knees in. Roll yourself up to seated. Then sit with your legs wide apart for Upavista Konasana. And we're going to do the twisted variation of Janu Shirshasana. We'll come into a little forward fold first. So letting the groins descend down so that the femurs can get their rotation. Hook your big toes and inhale. Exhale, start to fold forward or just hold in the upright position. You could even let your head rest onto something. And then come back up. Bring your left leg into Janu Shirshasana position. Turn from your right side lower belly to face your knee. Smooth the knee down and away from you. Once you can get this thigh to descend, then start to reach out over your right leg. But if that knee and thigh start to lift up, then stop. And just breathe into the stretch, the pull that comes from the hip. You can take, if you have the flexibility to, you can keep the thigh descending, reach and catch the foot, cool. If not, you can go hand behind the head, or you can just keep reaching as if you're pretending to touch, or you can even go against the wall and push the hands into the wall, and that'll help you to drive and descend the left thigh. Inhale back up, change sides, take the left leg wide, bring the right leg into Janu Shirshasana, and turn to face the right, smooth the thigh down and away. hold here, just working on twisting and descending the thighs, or start to stretch out over the left. But feel the connection from your hip, the fascial band from the hip all the way up through your side body towards your shoulder, through your arm. How you stretch the arm affects that, through the lower back. Let the thoracolumbar fascia open by descending the hip at the same time as you're reaching over. Don't be in a rush here. Hold and breathe. Come back up. Then take Baddha Konasana. So I'll just be, if you've noticed today, the pace of the practice, I would say, is a little slower than we've been doing for these classes lately. And so it doesn't feel as hard. Like, it doesn't feel like as much of a workout, maybe. I don't know, you could let me know what you thought. But in my own personal practice, I kind of have two different styles. Like, some days I'll practice more for strength, and that'll be like more balancing poses. Like, I won't hold the poses long, and there's a feeling like it's a little more energizing at the end. But if I want to work on opening and really improve how my body moves, then these longer, slower pace classes, these are the ones that I use for that. So just depending on what your aim is for the day, you can kind of file that one away. And I'm going to put this one on the Conscious Movement community, so you'll be able to check that out there if you're watching right now from the Conscious Movement community. Stay upright or start to fold forward. And then come back up. Now I want you to cross the legs and fold forward, or take a single pigeon, double pigeon, or Gomukhasana. So knees crossed, shins crossed, whatever kind of cross, you can get going, and you can rest your head onto something. Then come back up, sit up tall, and if your right leg is on top, you're going to take your right hand behind your back from under. If the right leg is on bottom, other way around, then reach up, stretch, and slide your hand behind your head. Now the first one that we're going to do is to slide the hands towards each other, turn the top elbow in, and imagine you're pulling the hands in opposite directions. Then release, slide the left hand to the back of the head, right hand to the sacrum, and then reach the elbows in opposite directions. So the elbows go out wide and away from each other. Release that. Change the cross of your legs. And go forward. Leaning tower props over here. Oh, it's an outer hip experience. And come back up. I have my left leg on top now, so I'll go left hand from under, right arm from above. Slide the hands towards each other, turn the right elbow in, and then pull the hands in opposite directions, whether they're touching or not. Then soften, slide hand to the head, hand to the sacrum, and reach the elbows in opposite directions. Pull, stretch the elbows away from each other. Stretch through the shoulders into the elbows. Release that. Then fold forward, Paschimottanasana. I'm using this bend knee variation as a way to help to open up the lower back and diagnose if one side of the lower back is trying to take over. And then gradually work the legs straighter, keeping both sides of the lower back open. You can hold in the forward fold or come into plow pose as long as the neck is healthy.
Stay onto the tops of the shoulders, back of the skull, and feel the C7 vertebra release away from the ground as you hold here or hands on the lower back, legs up. Relax the jaw and the tongue. Don't strain. Back to plow. And maybe Karnapidasana, knees to the ears.
Roll yourself out. Press the elbows down. Fish pose, look back. Release, hug the knees in and roll up for final seated meditation. Cross the legs or take half lotus, full lotus, or siddhasana. Rest the hands on the knees. Join the tip of the thumb and the tip of the index finger. Stretch out the other three fingers, Jnana Mudra, the seal of wisdom, and feel the energy of the mudra in the hands. Notice what it does for your body. Notice what it does. Very subtle. You have to tune in. If you're just like, oh, okay, I'm touching my finger and nothing's happening. Release it for a moment. Ah, okay. Then join the tip of the thumb, tip of the index finger. It's powerful if you can really tune in. And then we'll take 5 rounds of Ujjayi breathing. Practice inserting a little pause at the end of the breath and at the top of the breath.
No straining. Then lie down on your back for Shavasana. Let your body relax now. No more effort, no more doing. Just let go, surrender, receive. Let your body receive all the benefits of the deep breathing and the stretching that you did. Notice how calm and grounded you feel. Yet at the same time, you can feel the life force energy pulsing through the body. When we were born, we took our first breath. We're no longer, life force came into the body, and when we pass, we'll take our last breath, life force will leave the body. And in between, we can do these practices to help the blocks to life force energy that happen as a result of lifestyle, posture, our mental patterns, chronic mental patterns, mental states. But I just want you to notice, which this is one of the reasons why I keep coming back to the mat, the feeling in your body right now. How it feels like prana has been freed to move through the body. One of the sayings that I love about prana is that it's like a great bird and we're freeing it from its shackles so that it can fly. See if you can sense that at the end of your practice. That's a practice that went well. And then bend your knees, roll to your side, and press up. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I hope that you felt the benefits of what having a more mindful meditative practice can do for you. And if you found it helpful or you gained any new insights, let me know below. Of course, I love hearing from you all the time. And let me know if you have any suggestions for next week's class. Have a great day.